We are rolling in hot and ready for the second day of North American Contenders Trials here in the month of September. Yesterday, we got a whole bunch of 3 Overwatch, so let's see if we can't get some closer games today. My name is Possible. With me, as per the norm, is LaFon, and we're going to be taking you through Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation versus Last Hope today. LaFon, this should be a pretty good match.
One day I'll be able to get through listening to that name without laughing at it, but it's not today, certainly at all. We will not be calling their full name for the remainder of this broadcast. That is a mouthful to get in the middle of a call. But for Tier 2, this is a team that we have very high expectations for. You know these players. You know them real well. Starting at the back line, of course, Paul. I mean, what more to kind of get through? But OG and Ultraviolet here. A spectacular duo, arguably one of the best in Contenders trials right now.
They're so good, man. I mean, even when Ultraviolet, I believe he was on Malibu last trials run. Man, this guy is just a nut. And if you're at all familiar with NA and the players who permeate Tier 2, you should know OG, right? But, you know, Wub speedily on the DPS, also very strong. Shapeshifter and Cucumber, not the most experienced in this region at the very least, but still formidable. We got to look at Last Hope too, though, because although these guys come up from OD, they had a rough start yesterday, it's still a pretty dang good roster.
I mean, looking at this roster, this is really a bunch of players that you've seen around this scene for quite some time. It's not these are not nobodies. These are guys who have really stepped forward and kind of performed at a level that, you know, is in that Tier 2-ish level. So we expect them at some point in time to be in that contenders discussion. But if they want to make this particular moment that time, then obviously they're going to have to perform here. And realistically, Last Hope versus T2 Drama Alert at this point in time, I think, is possibly the best match that we could have hoped for this early in the week. Trials has a weird little thing where by the end of the week, we kind of have an idea of where everyone slots up. Yeah. So to get this conversation this early on is particularly impressive. We are going to take a quick look, of course, at how Trials has shaped up so far, because it's been pretty interesting looking at, of course, our team right now leading Group A. It is Team Doge, and really no surprises there.
It's also a 3-way tie, though, LaFon. Like I said earlier, every single match yesterday, not only here in Group A, but also in Group B, was a 3-0. Also, quick reminder to everybody, there are 2 streams happening right now simultaneously. So get your phone, get your second monitor, go hit out the Group B stream too. But talking about this match here today, right? This is the second day. This is where you kind of decide whether or not the first day is going to be your pattern for the week, or if you're going to mess with the flow a little bit here. And for Last Hope, they're definitely hoping to mess with the flow. You know, we vaguely talked about their roster. I really got to look at Zerocious, man. I mean, this guy has jumped in and out of Overwatch over the last couple of years, but man's back. He is a nutty player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him pop off.
And arguably his best meta to play in right now, right? We are in a hit scan kind of power sort of situation to be in. Zerocious, long known as that, you know, hit scan player. So very much looking for him to be that focal point for Last Hope, because right now a lot of the game is going to focus around your hit scan and how they can perform without sort of the peel that they're necessarily expecting from previous metas, right? Double shield, probably not what you're going to see a whole lot of here today. So hit scans definitely need to step up in a big way.
If we see Orisa, I will eat this chapstick stick that is just sitting on my desk right now, LaFon. You can quote me on that. And I especially doubt we're going to see Orisa as we start off. We're going to go straight in onto Ilios for our map number 1. And it seems like we're going to be starting off on, well, this is going to be an interesting one considering the shifts in gameplay that we've been seeing recently, LaFon.
Right, and actually that's something we're going to have to keep an eye out on, you know, in sort of the micro heading into the next couple of maps, especially because watching yesterday's games, right, the thing that came in the most in terms of the compositional situations, we saw a lot of dive from a ton of teams. Necessarily, Doge was one of the teams that was playing up there in that dive composition, but we did see a little bit of Roadhog as well, and that's going to be the kind of argument that I'm expecting to see from these two teams. Are we going to continue to see the dive compositions come in with the Winston, with the Diva, or are they going to play a more poke style and have a Roadhog try and get those instant one-shots? Tail of the tape, but we are going to start off, of course, on map number 1. Ilios, well, is our playground, and Paul, take it away.
Well, and if, you know, you start on well, LaFon, if Roadhog's viable, you're bringing out that big boy, and it seems like both these teams agreed. Drama Alert rocking out Shapeshifter, using that Australian man right there. And Last Hope, it seems like they're actually going for the Sigma. So a little bit of difference in the tank that pairs with the Roadhog. Traincloud will have that shield, but remember, it's squishy now. Although not as squishy as Wub is. Standing that far forward, he'll get one onto Autumn Souls, and it is actually a trade back and forth. Shapeshifter has been able to push on forward and get the heftier damage down onto the enemy team, but you need to actually clean up these kills, and you know what? With Wub back in the fight off that res, it seems like Drama Alert, they're not going to have trouble doing that.
One of the biggest things we're going to have to also, it's not just the tank line that's going to be changing up a bit. It's going to be the supports as well. And there it's the Ana that comes into play as being the most impactful in that fight. An anti-nade on 3, that's basically a conversion of no effort whatsoever. We're going to see Dancer's going to switch over just a little bit here, going to mirror out the echo of Speedily, but they're going into a disadvantage now in terms of DPS ultimates. Severely ahead here is OG's squad as they step forward. Speedily down early, though.
Yeah, a little bit behind immediately. Speedily will get rezzed, but still one-for-one trade across those tanks. Zerocious moving around, looking for a position onto the enemy. Ash, and he'll get that headshot nice and easy. Not even looking the right direction. He's got to be a little bit careful still, though. Throw out that dynamite. He sees Speedily. Oh! Zerocious! Oh, the headshot onto OG there. That might just actually get Last Hope the point. And yeah, it seems like it'll do it.
Yeah, Zerocious, rumors of his demise greatly exaggerated. The Ash coming in, clicking heads, no problem there. And coming into now this next fight, though, it's really going to be about that first fight execute. Can you get the pick off? Realistically, that is going to be what a lot of these no-shield compositions are going to be based around. Yes, Traincloud has a Sigma, but aside from that, if you get that first pick off, you can snowball that into your own favor. So, looking forward, Autumn Souls going for the Nano Boost. Might be a little late, though.
Nano already goes in onto Speedily, who's in the backline, taking out Zerocious too. Autumn Soul's desperately trying to keep his team alive, but no dice there. The grab into the whole hog, the meat grinder of a couple ultimates. That's going to send Last Hope packing.
Yep.
That's such a satisfying way that Echo says that.
Yep.
That is the first time I've heard that one, but I enjoy it.
This is honestly one of the first time we've seen Echo and Roadhog play at the same time, so yeah, it's totally a fair thing to do. Speedily there, closing out the last dregs of the duplicate with the whole hog, and now the retake is looking to come back in from Last Hope, but speaking of, they're heading close to that last fight territory, and they're looking for a miracle here from one of their DPS players.
Ooh, no miracle from the supports, though. Shapeshifter already going to take out Autumn Souls. Gravitic Flux coming on through. This needs to get so much work done. And Zerocious, he's completely zoned out in the back. Speedily ain't letting him play the game. At least Bob will get the refrag there. So Last Hope ain't out of this yet. They've got tanks on the objective and an extra tank in the form of Dan Twist, who duplicated that Roadhog. So Last Hope not out of it yet.
Oh man, watching the Roadhogs at the very end just wave will never. I don't think they'll ever get old. That was pretty funny. Cucumber switches over to the Diva to contest in that last fight. He's gonna stick around to it, 60% to the next self-destruct. That's gonna stall the fight out. Speedly's gonna get rezzed up here, but it's gonna buy some time for the spam to come in, and Wub just finds the business end here of a shot. One thing that we're gonna have to keep an eye out. Remember, this is a new patch, so we're not getting a ton of experience in terms of. We're really learning what the meta is kind of shifting to as time goes on. That's a very aggressive place for a res to go through. Micro's thinking about it, but no, I'm not going to find it this time. And Paul, I think one thing here is a lot of this, as you can see, a lot of these fights are coming down to the hits game just getting a first pick off, and then it's just a 5v6 that the team at advantage is fully taking advantage of.
Hit scan of the Roadhogs, man. Faded has been kind of a monster thus far, but Shapeshifter is giving him a run for his money. Both Roadhogs going to have to be careful. Faded has that whole hog. There goes one into the pit. It's even trades, though. But it's Drama Alert who actually managed to get that flip. They're ticking up toward 100%. And Last Hope, they need to desperately get back onto the objective and get this contest rolling. Overtime will be triggered, but they're losing players. They're not able to contest. And sure, Traincloud is back, but Last Hope are kind of running out of hopes here. Bob isn't going to last very long on this objective. And it seems like only a matter of time before Drama Alert will choke them out and grab this first round.
Yeah, it is just basically here at this point in time, the desperation stalls coming through. Let the Mercy take center stage with the nano boost, but it will not be enough. It's going to be overtime ticking away here. And again, realistically speaking, this is what we're seeing. This is a new meta in play, a new patch relative to the pro scene, Paul. And it feels at times like teams are sort of eking out, or they're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't on the fly. A lot of Roadhog there, a lot of Ashe, of course, for the pick-off potential.
Sure.
But ultimately, a very slow round. Even though we saw a couple of flips on the objective, the actual gameplay was more methodical. It felt like both teams were looking for that opening to step up, and only then did they really execute on a play. So as the first round goes, it was well, not really known for your ability to kind of retake on that point. So it's going to try. I'm going to see now that we're heading into Lighthouse if that sort of evolves in the remaining part of this match.
Well, both teams evolving their compositions a little bit. Shapeshifter going over to the Wrecking Ball to play a little bit more aggro in the enemy backline, it seems. Whereas Zerocious has opted out of the Ashe. Doesn't need that Mercy Pocket anymore. Just going to be working with those one-shot headshots 100% of the time. Oh, nope. Okay, never mind. Zerocious goes back to spawn, says, Ashe is fine. You know what? I changed my mind, guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more pressure on the Widow when you've got the Wrecking Ball in play, right? So it's a lot tougher to get value in. And the Dynamite gets so much, pressure onto the tank line as they go through. Great pick off, but undone easily as Wub joins the fight again.
Unfaded's not getting res. Drama Alert Nation have already capped the point, right? This has just been slow going thus far for Last Hope, and with Train Cloud getting caught out in the open there, without the rest of his team, it doesn't seem likely that Last Hope are going to make a dent anytime soon.
Yeah, a bit of a non-fight, all things considered, and that's going to be that one tap that we saw coming through as Dynamite comes in. Bob nearly online for Wub as well. So he's been doing a ton of damage in these fights, but realistically, you need Faded to kind of get that hook to start the snowball in effect, open up space for Zerocious to kind of pop in, go for those headshots, because right now, things are looking pretty good for T2DA.
And Zerocious has been flashy, but Wub is still a very good player on that hit scan roll. Dantrous going to go forward, pressure out the backline of Drama Alert Nation with that Nano on him, but he doesn't manage to get any picks, and now with speedily duplicating that Sigma onto the objective, there's so much meat on the point right now, so difficult to actually remove is Drama Alert Nation, and not really much going the way of the attacking teams. Zerocious will at least take out his counterpart in Wub, but with a res coming through and Micro going down, Bob chucked in at the very end there, ain't gonna do a whole lot.
Dantrous actually copied the Mercy, so there's still a res available technically for Last Hope, but he will exit the duplicate, so that'll be undone. Now, I mean, we're heading into that territory of final fight, so there isn't really much available here now for Last Hope. They're looking for a miracle, and all they've got is the Gravitic Flux. This is going to be, getting Train Cloud into position to lock this one down is going to be very, very difficult. Meanwhile, T2A have everything on lock here with their ult economy.
Ooh, Dantrous going down. That's not a good start. At least there's a Gravitic Flux nearly available for Train Cloud. Train Cloud's got to live, though. He's so low. And no, he'll get taken down. Both tanks already gone. Whole Hog out at the ready for Cucumber. Not even a percentage gain here on Lighthouse. That's going to be the 2-0 on Ilios, going over to Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation.
And while the first round was a little bit more scrappy and competitive, the second round certainly not. So, Last Hope hoping that's not going to be a mirror of the rest of the match, because they need to step back into it. You don't want to start trials off 2-0, right? Or 0-2 in this particular instance, because it starts to look a little harder for you down the road in the week, right? You're struggling for those wins, and all of a sudden, it's not, can we take wins off the bottom teams? If you want to make contenders, you got to start taking wins off the top teams. And Tier 2 Drama Alert, definitely one of those teams that you have to play competitively.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're looking at this Group A, right? Team Doge and Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation are probably the two favorites to make it back into contenders, right?
For sure.
It's rough if you don't somehow upset one of those two teams, you're not going to get into contenders at all. But at least there's a chance of you staying in trials, right? But you got to put maps on the board. You got to look competitive against the top teams at that. Last Hope, rough map number 1, but series is a long way from over. It's first 2-3. I almost said best of 5. There is technically a difference, but it's first 2-3 here. So we still got a few maps left, LaFon.
Right, and I think this is one of those instances where Control probably does not favor Last Hope. We saw that they were a little bit more hesitant to try and take those 1v1s specifically, not because they're mechanically worse necessarily than T2. It's simply that at times, if you step out in this particular composition, you will get punished. There's no question about it. There's just too many things that come in, right? The Ashe headshot is lethal. Of course, the Roadhog hook. And one of the other things is the Ana's biotic grenade. Getting the anti-heal is a massive detriment to a push. So I think here you could see there was a little bit of trepidation from Last Hope on those particular engages, as they didn't really want to put themselves in a place to be punished. Unfortunately, what that means is it makes you static. It means that you're not really in a fight necessarily, and then you lose anyway. So for maps number 2, which is going to favor a little bit more positioning and spacing,
Sure.
ideally they play a little bit more aggressively around the space they have.
Well, and we're going over to Volskaya Industries, right? So that's the map you are referring to when you talk about favorite positioning and spacing. And we've seen kind of two different looks thus far this week in Trials Lafon. There
Yeah.
has been the Roadhog, usually with the Sigma, although as Drama Alert Nation it gave us an example of, you can run it with things like the Zarya or the Wrecking Ball if you really want. But there's also just been the straight up dive looks from some teams, right? You bring the Winston in, you get him alongside the Diva, usually a Tracer and an Ashe or a Sombra or something to pair with it, and you just go all in with that dive. As we move on to Volskaya Industries, do you think it maybe be a good idea for Last Hope to give that a shot?
I mean, if they haven't practiced it, no, because it's
Well, yeah,
you never want to go in at something you haven't practiced. That's a tough place to be. But I think realistically speaking, and this is going to be, having watched the games yesterday, both EU and NA, and kind of trying to find out what I felt was sort of the approximation of what the meta is kind of going to settle on. I wasn't able to really get a true sense of what I liked the best. Right, it was
Sure.
very map dependent, first of all. So certain maps played better on certain compositions than elsewise, and I think Ilios there, right, we saw a little bit of that more stable style where you're playing on the flank, where you're playing the hog on the flank rather for those pickoffs, and you're playing the Ashe. It's more stable. It's less around the aggressive engage with the dive. I think the step that comes through, for this next map on Volskaya that I'm kind of saying, is that going to be the case? Yes, dive can work. I think that is a really strong setup here. But if these teams haven't placed it, then it's gonna be a real interesting question on that front. The Sombra, I'd say though, is probably gonna make a comeback here in map number 2.
Sure. And I mean, Sombra is just so good, man. I
Yeah.
mean, especially when you look at the enemy
Especially
tank
double
line.
up tank.
If it's a Roadhog and a Sigma, right? Those
Yeah.
are two juicy hack targets, right? One becomes an alt Battering, the other one becomes a very strange old floating man who can't really do much except chuck D12s at you. And as much as I love D&D as much as the next person, D12s don't do the most. Actually, in D&D, D12s do a lot of damage. That's a bad analogy. Sigma doesn't do a lot of damage was the point I was trying to make. I fumbled that one, but we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he becomes he certainly becomes a glass cannon in every sense of the word. A lot of damage, not much survivability. There we go, rescued your analogy for you.
Thanks.
But heading into the into the mirror, Sombra does a lot against the tanks, as you highlighted, right? Roadhog ends up becoming basically useless. He shoots, but he's 600 HP plus of just pure health damage. It really is all about spacing out the Roadhog a lot of the times. If he can land that hook on you, he's a real threat, because a 5v6 in Overwatch, we know how strong that is. In basically since the beta, if you are up 1, you want to fight. That's how it worked, unless you're willing to dump 3-4 ultimates to counter it out. But then the opposing team obviously mirrored it out, and they would win eventually. So it was an arms race to get that first pick, and Roadhog basically gives you an extreme opportunity to get there. If you can dodge that hook, though, he suddenly becomes a lot less effective at his job, which is creating space. Tanks, that's what they need to do. And I think that's why we kind of saw the dive tanks being effective in our matches yesterday. If you could space out the hog, if he was unable to really get value on those pickoffs, and you were able to create a 5v6 before the Roadhog got into position, well, all of a sudden, now you're at extreme advantage. And with the Sombra, that really just made it a 4v6 at the end. So I think that's really the difference that we're kind of seeing in terms of the stylistic setups. But again, it does depend extremely on the map. And even on Junkertown, we saw Doge yesterday, who was playing the most of the dive of the teams that we saw on stream. They elected to go on the attack run with the Roadhog as well. So I'm not necessarily surprised that we're seeing a ton of hog this early on. I think it's our team's going to stick exclusively to the Roadhog, or are they going to work around it based on the maps? That's the real question for me as we head through the remainder of this week here in Contenders Trials NA.
Well, and we got to keep in mind, this is Contenders Trials, right? So not only are you trying to get up to Contenders as a team, but also sort of just prove that you have what it takes to be in Contenders in general, right? And when we look across the rosters of these two teams, I don't think there's a single player here that I would doubt, given the right setup, could make Contenders, right? But the flexibility to go over onto a different composition and make it work in the week is something that a real Contenders player needs, right? A real Overwatch League player needs. And for most of these players, that's going to be their goal ultimately. So as we set up on Volskaya Industries here, Drama Alert Nation, at least on their defense, hovering over the fact that they want to play that Zarya dive.
We'll take a quick look here at the defense, though, and I think the Sombra. Sorry,
Wait,
Sombra
other way
Ashe.
around. The team switched sides. I'm dumb. It's actually Last Hope who are running the Zarya dive.
Yeah, there you go. Cucumber actually comes out on the Roadhog. Interesting. Okay. Wild finds the better end of Noxious, though. That's just going to open things up immediately, actually, for T2DA.
Well, they can at least push forward, right? And with Train Cloud going down too, this is not the start that Last Hope we're looking for. This might be their last hope to hold point. Hey, Noxus, he's trying, man, but the entire team is falling around him. And that's going to be a pretty quick cap, not going to lie to you.
I mean, it's that first pickoff, right? The fact that Noxious goes down so early. Zerocious actually staying alive till the later end of that fight. But, you know, forcing the res that early, forcing people out of position, you can start to focus damage on the remainder of the squad. And now, you know, you're in a real problematic position. And this is going to be a really difficult hold for Last Hope, simply because you're coming up on the Bob. You also have got, of course, Cucumber's ability to just close out a fight with a hook. You're looking at needing to get a pick off here if you're from a dive target here if you're Last Hope.
Well, and we're looking at Zerocious, right? He needs to set up some kind of dive with a hack, ideally, but right now, Drama Alert Nation not giving him the opportunity. There goes the hard dive in from Last Hope, but they're already taking so much damage. Faded so low, at least Wub will go down, but Faded is not going to get away. He will respawn quicker, but with Train Cloud also meeting him back in the spawn room, or at least the mech, this means that you can go out onto the objective. Bob gonna come down from the defense to try and stall this one out, but a counter Bob answered by Wub, so Bob's just gonna brawl in the corner. And with the rest of Drama Alert Nation supporting Wub's Omnic Butler, there's already 2 ticks nearly taken here. There comes the EMP finally out from Zerocious, but nobody's there to even capitalize on it. This is going to be such a quick cap for Drama Alert Nation unless somebody's going to pull out a miracle.
I mean, the Valkyrie is out, so Micro will be able to contest for a little bit of time as he dances his way through the point, flies into a Mindfall. Oh, no.
That's it.
Oh.
Dang. All right. Well, that definitely wasn't the defense Last Hope we're looking to set up. Admittedly, dive harder to play on the defense, right? But, man, you got to give it to Drama Alert Nation. They were just WM1 warriors in that round.
Well, the one thing is, right, is that dive requires a setup, right? You cannot just kind of jump in blindly. That's never really been the case for dive. And even less so in this particular patch, especially with a Roadhog, right? Like, if your Winston dives in just completely blind, he's going to get hooked. He's going to get absolutely destroyed. So you can't really just go in fearlessly. What that then comes down to is, can you set up your dive efficiently? And your dive cannot set up if one of your players is down, as Noxious was taken out early on point A. And it all goes back to that first pickoff, because the second fight on point B was really an extension of that first fight pickoff. You were behind an ult charge. You never really got up to those impact ultimates where you could use them in a properly staged engagement. Zerocious's EMP is a perfect example of that. He hits like, 5 people? But there's no one to follow up on it, right? Because everyone had been taken out because they hadn't been able to get to those impact utility quickly enough. So realistically, the dive is fine. It's just that it needs more time to set up. Time that Last Hope was never given.
Well, now it's going to be on Last Hope to try and match that blazing nearly 5-minute time bank from Drama Alert Nation. Zerocious still coming out on the Sombra. I still think Sombra's a pretty dang good pick. And now that you're on the attack, Last Hope, you can dictate the manner of engagement a little bit better. You can wait for Zerocious's call and go forward. Ideally, of course, if Faded dies, that makes the whole prospect a little bit more tricky. He'll get res though, so not too much of a worry there, although now you won't have this for the ensuing fight. Zerocious need to get a hack, need to get something done, get some ult charge. He hasn't even de-stealthed yet.
Yeah, he's been relaying information about the positioning of Drama Alert Nation, but it hasn't been enough. His team hasn't pushed in, so he can't really do anything. Okay. One shot.
Poking a little bit there. Couldn't quite get the one shot onto Wub. I don't think he was being pocketed at that time. Oh, he keeps hitting the headshot, but it's not enough damage. trade of off tanks down on the low ground. Noxious just gonna have to bow out of that one, and Zerocious is way off back toward the spawn. This is already taken so much time, and now that a fight is finally ensuing, it's not even a clear one in favor of Last Hope. They're struggling to find a target to pounce on.
All right, I mean, Shapeshifter is he should be fine here. Yeah, he still got his adaptive shields.
Oh,
okay, that was clean.
not so fine. Faded, hitting those shots. Oh, it gets canceled. All right, he picks up the kill regardless. It doesn't matter. Although he's got to get out of this one. Take a breather, nearly off cooldown, so Faded will be able to get away, and Bob is hacked. Zerocious getting work done on the objective. Better late than never, I suppose, but now Cucumber's back. 2 ticks have been taken, sure, from Last Hope, but this fight is not done yet, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be going the way of Last Hope at all.
Yeah, Last Hope is just taking too long to do anything. And, I mean, Drama Alert Nation's not giving them the space, right? Like, at a certain point in time, you can play a slow style, right? You think, and it can get value if the opposition allows you to have that space, but these guys, they have the experience. They're not going to do that. They're not going to give you that room. The one opening here for Last Hope is they need to find value off this EMP. Right. It's a good start here as the hack comes in.
Ooh, a great hack from Zerocious. He'll get punished for it, but he denies the res. So it's still an even 1-for-1 trade ultimately. There goes the whole hog out from Faded. What a beautiful sleep from Ultraviolet, but it won't save Cucumber. Everyone making moves, but somebody's got to make ones that stick. Speedily he'll take down Faded, and that makes it really difficult for Last Hope to actually get onto the objective unless Noxious can get some work done, and he'll only get sent back to spawn. Only a minute and 15 seconds remaining, and Last Hope, they're still struggling.
Zerocious nearly fell into 2 mines there. That would have been disastrous here. I mean, they have 2 ticks, so they only need one more third of permanent progress on the objective.
EMP at the ready, too. If anybody comes out and contests, Zerocious can shut it down. Nice hack onto Shapeshifter. Nearly there, 96%, but you can't lose it now. EMP gets thrown out in desperation, and it should be enough to where Last Hope will actually get this cap. Bob will come down out from Wub, but a big Omnic Butler can only do so much, and not even contesting the point. Finally, point A will go over to Last Hope.
I'm actually surprised that Bob didn't contest the point there. It looks like he's on the objective.
It looked like he had his toes on.
Yeah. All right, well, you heard it here first. Toes do not contest the point.
I feel like we heard it here last then, LaFon. Everybody's had a scenario where they rushed to the the and they swear they were on it.
I just really wanted to make the pun of toes and point. Anyway, heading into this next fight. 3 minutes on the clock, so they're already at disadvantage. Last Hope are in terms of time bank, but I mean, this is going to be a tough one for them. They're hoping for a miracle. Rush is not able to get out in time. I think his translocator perhaps is broken.
And it's even tougher now.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. Well, sure.
Shapeshifter is just kind of nasty right now. He'll get res too. Yeah, you better res him, OG. Shapeshifter just did that fight single-handedly.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough place to be. And I mean, I suppose your one saving grace that Shapeshifter used Minefield already up to 50% though, and
yeah,
you need, I think, here if you're Last Hope, OG's gonna respawn.
Wait, okay, I mean, but you're at the spawn of the enemy team. Speedly's literally gatekeeping with the whole hog right now, pushing Last Hope back into their spawn. Oh, the hook on a train cloud too. I don't think he's got the barrier. At least Speedily will get taken down by a nice shot from Noxus. But, I mean, these picks hardly matter for Last Hope. It's just so that they can fight their way out of their own spawn.
Yeah. I will say the one that could matter here is that Ultraviolet is behind. Okay, he's dead.
But will they get to the objective before he respawns? I don't think so.
Now they can. Now they can.
Yeah. There we go, though.
But I mean, the time bank this virtual is so massive anyway.
And, I mean, the EMP is ready here from Zerocious, so once again, now that you're on the objective, it should be easy for Last Hope to take this. Although the EMP only hits Shapeshifter, and he doesn't even get cleaned up. He gets pocketed, and he's just fine. Cucumber, not so much. Half gonna enable the kill there. Shapeshifter running around, Whole Hog trying to keep him off the objective, but you need more picks. There goes the grab, but nobody's caught in it. Okay, actually, OG was. Just didn't see him on screen. He'll go down 2, but even with 2 ticks taken, Last Hope, they need to clean this up now before the respawns come in. It's going to be so close, and a bunch of time whittled off the bank regardless, even if Last Hope get it. It seems like they will, though. Just one more pesky Wrecking Ball, and with the hack, it's not too difficult to clean him on up. Tracer comes on onto the point 2, though. So this is just more time off the bank. At least you're working with 1 minute and 7 seconds when you go into these extra innings, but what a differential there.
A grand total of 1 fight available to Last Hope. So quite
Yeah.
literally living up to their name here on map number 2. Because, I mean, that's 5 minutes, right? Even if we're doing like the thing where it's like 1 fight a minute, you know, that's 1 fight to 5. If this first fight does not go perfectly for Last Hope, you're looking at a very easy first hold, or full hold, I should say, for Drama Alert Nation. This is not a particularly difficult setup.
And Last Hope, they got to come out blazing, right?
Yeah.
Their first attack on point A here, they kind of just danced around the objective willy-nilly for about 2.5 minutes before they started taking real fights where they had advantages, right? There needs to be a decisive game plan and an execution of that plan from Last Hope if they want to make this map even so much as more than drawable. And I mean, realistically, you couldn't even call it very drawable if you don't get a tick on point A, because then you're working against a 5-minute time bank for just 33%.
I mean, if you don't at least capture this first point, I think that the concept of drawable isn't really in the cards at this point, right? So just keep that in mind. I mean, for Last Hope, you need to at least get point A with this minute 7 on the clock.
All right, Last Hope, what do you got in your pockets? Noxious, he's been taking it to Wub. Zerocious has been a little lackluster on the Sombra, admittedly, but those EMPs have still enabled his team, whether they hit 1 member or 5. But now the clock doth tick. Only a little bit of time. Oh, the hook going a little bit wide there.
Wub
Not going to grab Wub. Wub will dance around that one and retreat further back, so there's no risk of him getting caught again. A sleep over onto Cucumber. You can move a little bit further forward now if you Last Hope. Play with a bit more impunity, especially now that Cucumber's just been eliminated entirely. If the other tank goes down here, that's going to be great. Oh, what's not great, though? Micro going down. You got to get that hook. Okay, well, at least Speedily dies before the hook comes through. So no worries there from Faded, but now he's worrying. He's only got 24 health. Eliminated and everything. It's so difficult right now. Train Cloud can't even get Wub. Wub's just getting pocketed. Train Cloud has to jump down onto the low ground and trigger overtime, but now there's nobody there to even keep it going. And that'll be a full hold in favor of Drama Alert Nation.
And at this point in time, I mean, you know, we as casters like to hype up the possibility of like the great hold of all time, but
drawable.
It's not. And we should start thinking about next map at this point. And like, it's really easy to have sort of as a caster say, okay, here's what they need to do on this map to try and get, you know, some miracle, whatever, you know, whatever. That's not going to be the case. It's 4 minutes, 53 seconds, unless tier 2, you know, God, that name, Drama Alert Nation, like literally just at this point, to be quite fair, AFKs for 4 minutes. This is their map to take. So it's all about, can you take a win mentally from this map and then get onto the next one to try and keep your hopes alive in this series. And I think it all comes down to how do you perform in these fights. You have to take a proper approaches if you're Last Hope, and just take that into your next map, because that's really all you have going for you, I think, on Volskaya at this point.
Yeah, Drama Alert Nation would need to drop a lot of spaghetti and nowhere near the objective for this to be a draw. The question is how competitive can you make it Last Hope so that you don't lose hope going into that third match? Faded's going to come back out on that Roadhog, so not the dive this time around on the defense. Faded still confident he can make this Roadhog pick work, but it's just going to be the brawl, the straight run to point comp from Drama Alert Nation. I love it.
Yep. And I mean, this is the meat grinder. Meat grinder, and the meat is the opposing team.
Oh!
That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Done and dusted. Faded. He's going to get halted. He's going to get run over. Wub's just going to fan the hammer onto him and hit all these nasty shots at range. Oh, man, I love watching Wub play. He's looking a little bit low, worse for wear here, but what a pocket coming out from Ultraviolet to keep the gunslinger alive. And there's the first tick. Drama Alert Nation will go up 2-0. They're just one away from closing this series out nice and clean.
And if Last Hope doesn't want to be the next victim in the 3 Overwatch sequence, they're going to have to come up with something big on map number 3. It's been a rough road for them, these two maps. And I mean, Volskaya Industries, at times it felt like Drama Alert Nation was just going for broke, right? Making things look a little exciting, a little creative as they go to tag the spawn at one point on their defense on that second point of Volskaya Industries. So for Last Hope, you're hoping they can pull out something that that allows them to be a little bit more competitive here in this match.
Last Hope. I feel like LaFon, we're making the Last Hope joke too many times.
We are.
But I'm gonna make it just one more time because the Last Hope is the next map. When we come back from a short break here, guys, we're gonna go straight. Wait, hold on. No, we are going to break. All right, it's fine. When we come back from a quick break, we're going to go on to Hollywood. Make sure you stick around. And if you want something to do during the break, head on over to the other stream. Both groups are going here today at Elo Hell. So plenty of Overwatch to be played, but we will see you soon. Welcome back, everybody, to Group A for Contenders Trials in North America. Day 2 in the month of September. These intros are getting longer and longer every week, I swear, LaFon. But thankfully, this match thus far hasn't been that long. It's been a pretty quick 2-0 thus far. Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation kind of taking it to Last Hope.
Well, small moment if you want to go faster through them. Just speak faster. I hear that's a really good way of making the audience enjoy the intros. But
sure.
No. Heading into this match, though, as we head into map number 3 on Hollywood between Last Hope and Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation, it's been a bit of one-sided affair so far. T2DA doing a fantastic job on the first 2 maps, looking pretty competitive and pretty strong, and realistically, rather, exactly where we expected them to be.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this group, despite the fact that Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation technically comes up from Open Division, right? I think it'd be a pretty hard sell to not pretend that Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation are one of the two teams we expect to make it back into contenders, right?
Yeah.
Alongside Team Doge,
Yeah.
that is. So when we look at this for Last Hope, we set this up at the beginning. It's not so much a question of are you going to upset one of the two favorites going back in? Because you're probably not, right? But how competitive can you make this series look while you probably lose?
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough place for any team to be, right?
It's not fun.
No,
I
it's
wouldn't
not.
recommend it.
Yeah, and we both know they don't come into this mentally saying, "All right, we're gonna lose. How are we
No,
gonna?"
not so
No,
much.
obviously not. They're coming in. Okay, we're going to win. Yes, but here from our position at the broadcast booth, it's a little bit of how do you mitigate the damage that T2D is going to do to you, right? That's what's going to come in, and I think we saw fragments of what they can do to kind of get that positioning to kind of prevent Drama Alert Nation from just running over them, and it comes down to I think playing off those one fight picks. And a big problem has been the speed at which Last Hope plays. We saw Zeroches take, what was it, a minute and a half to get his first real engagement in terms of fighting on the Sombra on Volskaya Industries. And I would like to see a little bit more aggression come out from the team. You can't be waiting that long to set up. And it's easy for me to stand here and say, okay, just be faster, play quicker. It's much, much more difficult than that, yes. But at a certain point in time, you have to step up with the big boys and play faster. I think it really comes down to, your setup has to be cleaner, and then your engage has to just be, instead of counting 3, 2, 1, just engage. So.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, if you take two losing fights at a certain point, you have a better chance of winning one of those than if you take 0 fights at all.
Correct.
You have to take a fight to win it. So as we come out here, we're going to go straight on to Hollywood. And it is going to be Last Hope on the defense first. So not necessarily on them to dictate the pace of these fights, but considering that they're on defense first, LaFon, we got to talk about what happened on Volskaya. Both times, really. Because Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation rolled through their own attacks very decisively.
The one thing that can be said, you can see Zerosh is playing up super aggressively to scout. He's going to have a little bit more space and time to kind of farm up to that EMP, get that key hack to perhaps Cucumber or speedily on the Echo. And that's really been, I think, the difference between these two teams in terms of compositional styles. Yes, the off-tank, but also the DPS has been... Oh, no. Even when
the DPS has been dead. The DPS has been dead, LaFon. Both of them died. All right, Noxus gets res, but it's still a rough spot here for Last Hope. Faded already taking a chunk of damage to take a breather, but not enough breaths in the world. Not enough oxygen can be inhaled at once to keep Faded alive right there, or the rest of Last Hope. Drama Alert Nation, they are relentless right now, and they're going to get this point A cap easy peasy.
Yeah, the big thing here is there's like sort of an element to Overwatch is all about setting up and getting a fight going. In the time it takes for me to kind of situate the teams where they go, it's all Drama Alert Nation just getting the cleanup frags already, right? We saw how quickly that pickoff came onto Noxus, and then Zeroshus was taken down while that res came through, and that just ended the fight right there. And right now, with all that's going on here, with the spawn camp essentially from Drama Alert Nation, there is going to be no real contest in the defense here of the second phase of Hollywood.
One player, I bet it's Ultraviolet, just sitting back on the cart, tweeting from the objective. Autumn Souls, can't get it out of spawn. Nobody can. This is just absurd. And it gets to the point where you're going to start having to use ults to get out of your spawn. There goes the Bob from Noxus, and yeah, maybe you can get out of spawn finally, but Whole Hog and the Minefield both committed to keep Last Hope locked down.
Oh,
This is brutal, man.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I mean, we expected these guys to be in content. Oh no. They're already dead. Well, they're just gonna keep dying.
Nano onto Noxus. This is where he pops. Let's go, boys. Get forward with this push. No? Okay, when Nano's one off, that didn't happen. All right, well, good try. And now the cart's nearly all the way at the end of point B. Bob's going to get thrown in by Speedily, who has duplicated the Ash. Nearly gets a second Bob there, and he's just going to 1v1 Train Cloud real quick. No biggie. No. Was that the Hail Mary grab across the map? Oh, no.
Okay. Take a breath, reset. I'm telling that to Last Hope.
I'm telling that to me at this point, LaFon.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right.
Listen. Sometimes a team just sits in your spawn. That's all you can do
You
about it.
can't let it frazzle you. Right now, we need a full reset. We need a mental regrouping. You can't lose hope if you're Last Hope. Great pick there onto Cucumber. Finally, some punishment going down onto Drama Alert Nation. Need to keep the ball rolling, though, if you're Last Hope. Faded not quite going to grab that second hook there. Was going for OG, but won't be able to lock down that Mercy. And Micro does go down. Bob will stall out long enough to where Micro should be able to get back into this fight. But you got to be a little bit careful. Fade is already pretty low. He'll take a breather. Both bubbles popped. Will grab that short range hook onto Speedily, but we need more. Whole Hog coming out is going to do as much as it can, but somebody contest the objective. Just the Mercy going forward, getting the res. And it seems like Last Hope are finally going to be able to dig their heels in. Slowly but surely they're stabilizing right at the finish line.
Yeah, and this even for Drama Alert Nation, this is too much to kind of try and go for the full cap. Wob is doing his best to prove me wrong, though, man. He is going for it.
Oh! Ooh. There's the headshot to set up the dive. EMP coming out. It only catches Shapeshifter. At least Shapeshifter will be eliminated. A good transcendence there from Autumn Souls. Tough to work forward. The hack on a Speedily. This grab is going to be later rather than sooner. Train Cloud, the only one caught in it, will be eliminated, but these picks aren't coming fast. Okay, well, now they're coming fast enough for Drama Alert Nation. They're going to clean this up. Still 3 minutes, 44 seconds in the time bank right now. Drama Alert Nation, LaFon, doing their best San Francisco shock impression.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. That 3 minutes and 44 seconds was slow. With how they were spawn camping on seconds.
Oh, that's not even glass half empty of you, LaFon. That's like you saw a glass that was almost full and you went, this isn't the drink I ordered, even when it was.
I mean, if you're a Drama Alert Nation fan, just,
right,
you know, putting it out there.
Look, if you're a Drama Alert Nation fan, I think you are having a splendid time in this match. They are looking so clean, dominant. They are unafraid of everything. Even the times where you debatably should be afraid. Woman Speedily are doing it to him now, man.
Please, Speedily, do it. Keep it. I want to see this Doomfist.
Keep in mind, everybody, Speedily has long been one of the best Doomfists in Tier 2. And with a lot of the best Doomfists in Tier 2 being picked up since the last time we saw Doomfist consistently, he's only gone up in the ratings technically, right? So this guy's crazy, and it's going to be the surprise, the ambush coming out from Drama Alert Nation.
Well, I mean, second point happened,
no
so
chill,
may as well
chill.
go the defensive point A as well. They have no idea. They have no idea. They're spy checking.
I don't think Last Hope are going to be alerted to Alert Nation right now, and already the Ash Mercy combo gone. All the squishies popped like balloons, and the spawn camp ensues.
Okay, I mean, I know Speedily popped off in the kill feed. Man, this guy's so good, Doomfist. All right. Okay, I mean, are they
Doomfist? He whiffs the seismic slam there.
Listen, the camera was on him. It's a tough place to be. All right, the reset comes in. They're playing a little bit more passively, I guess.
Keep in mind, Roadhog still exists, right? So Speedily's not careful. Ooh, hack? Nah, already after the punch was used, though, to get out of dodge. Cucumber will be eliminated here, but with Speedily in your back line. Ooh, he actually get hooked. Faded punishing that one. Not terrible work there. Shapeshifter, he's just going to sit there and wait for the charge. The second he sees a squishy, they don't even check for him.
Quarters.
A little bit early there, so Shapeshifter's still going to get punished. And this is now a very takeable objective for Last Hope.
Takeable? I mean, givable is probably the better way of putting that. As
you are on it today, LaFon. There's the hack onto Speedily, so he's not going to be able to get in and do as much as he would like. Trade of support's not going to favor either team momentarily. Nice hook there from Faded. Faded's actually starting to land a lot of these hooks more consistently. I want to give the man credit here as he just messes around with Shapeshifter in the corner. It seems like, you know, I got to give it to Last Hope, right? They're getting, like, spawn camp. They're getting styled on some of these times. But it seems like they're still kind of having fun.
I mean, yeah, this is it's really easy to get mentally boomed when you're playing up against a team like Drama Alert Nation, and even as they're losing the fight, they're going to continue to do, just continue to play the shenanigans because they have so much time to work with. But you need to have a good, head on your shoulders to be able to just accept that this is happening and just keep going forward regardless. So eventually, at some point, the time bank is going to start to pressure, the full cap coming through should pressure Drama Alert Nation to switch off the composition they're going on. At least that's the theory that Last Hope has to operate under.
And a lot of ults available here for Last Hope too. If they can avoid this tire getting value, they should be able to win the fight. Autumn Soul's already gone. OG gonna be joining him though. So not a terrible start here for Last Hope. No, Train Cloud not getting out of dodge. He'll throw the grab up onto the high ground, so at least Speedily will get punished. Shapeshifter keeping his head literally on a swivel, but it's not enough to keep himself alive. And there's a pretty expensive fight there for Last Hope, but they're going to keep this payload moving.
Not as expensive as, the defense. It could have been, yeah. It's only expensive if the opposition doesn't trade out. Cucumber on the flank gets two somehow. That's not ideal. But as I was saying, it's only expensive if the opposition doesn't spend as much as you. So winning the fight out means that you are in a pretty healthy position. Speedily going to switch over to the main now. So more of a rush composition from Drama Alert Nation at this point. And Shapeshifter?
Earth Shatter catches Noxious there, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Whole Hog gonna keep Speedily at bay too, so you can't get that freeze based off that wall. Transcendence had to be popped too though, so now no more ultimates remaining for Last Hope. And a long shot there from Speedily right through the noggin of Micro. Still makes this a rough spot for Last Hope. Wub playing with impunity, playing so far forward. He's gonna get punished, but not for nothing. Train Cloud will join him in the grave, and it seems that Drama Alert Nation will be holding on to the objective.
And I guess, where's your win now if you're Last Hope? Like, what do you come into this next fight looking to do? You have the Bob. I mean, you'll be able to build up to the Nano. Oh, Shapeshifter.
Where is Shapeshifter right now?
He's in, technically, first attack. They're going to chase him down.
If he got that pin, man. Oh, he's going back all the way to very first spawn.
And they just leave him.
Meanwhile, his team's actually doing all right. They get that pick on a Noxious. Speedily's going to get away from Zerocious without too much of an issue. And honestly, Wub and Speedily, they're not letting Last Hope enter right now, despite the fact that Shapeshifter is having a bit of silly fun.
Yeah. I mean, this should be Last Hope's fight, as they've taken down 3 at this point. But, time on the clock is not really in their favor, and Speedily does go down. So this is, progress, I suppose.
Progress. You take every step you can, Lafon, especially in matches like these. You're going to have a couple ults coming up, too, if you're Last Hope. So they're not out of it yet. They are running out of time, though. Only 90 seconds remaining here. So these ults cannot go to waste. You need to cap point B right now because you still need to cap with time if you're going to even consider winning this map. And already a bad start. Both DPS gone for Last Hope. You got to get these trades immediately. And a Deadeye over on the side actually did whiff there, but faded. Still in a pretty rough spot. Ooh, almost stunned out of that Whole Hog, but he'll actually get Wub with the help of Train Cloud too. And that's actually point C. Going over in a very messy situation to Last Hope, but going over nonetheless.
I mean, pardon me. Noxious on the back line gets taken out as Cucumber, I think, is flanking?
Ooh, there's the hook on a Shapeshifter. Beautiful nano there from Ultraviolet. This is going to be Cucumber coming in on the flank. Easy cleanup there for Drama Alert Nation. What a turn. And that's the kind of plays you got to talk about with Drama Alert Nation, right? I mean, yeah, this is ridiculous. This whole map is ridiculous, but the save on a Shapeshifter there with that nano into a winning fight still just shows how good this team is.
I mean, this has really been an exercise in Drama Alert Nation. This is not really about them playing up against Last Hope right now. This is them saying to the rest of their bracket, the rest of their group, we are the best team in this group. What are you going to do about it? That is what this whole situation has been.
Ooh, and an Earth Shatter coming out means Last Hope aren't going to do anything about it. They have not moved the cart really beyond that cap of B, and now they're getting spawn camped once again very intently as we pass 90 seconds remaining.
Yeah, this map is over at this point, right? You can confidently call that. Even if they get the second point or the third point capture, it'll be in overtime with up against 3.5 minutes. And This fight here is just going in, you know, it's all Drama Alert Nation.
A full swap. Ooh, what a stun around the shield. Wub onto Zerocious. It won't save his team, but I love those micro plays, man. Shapeshifter, I'm not even going to try to rationalize his behavior at this point, but the card's finally going to get moving, and Shapeshifter's on the wrong side of it.
Yeah, minute on the clock, though, right? Less than a minute. So they're going to have the reset. They're going to have the last fight in their side of the court. Wub, you know, finds the business end of the Hellfire shotguns, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
A little bit late on that ice wall, too, so no easy picks for Speedily and Cucumber on the high ground there. How did Shapeshifter get back into this fight, man? Who let that happen? Now he's just going to walk forward, pin, straight into a graph. So he's not actually going to get that pin off. And actually, Train Cloud has turned the course of this fight with that Graviton Surge. You need to finish off Shapeshifter. He's so low. No one is saving him right now with so much pressure being applied. Nearly the double headshot. A stun to stop Bob, too. Are you kidding me, Wub?
10 seconds.
The micro plays in this man are insane, and you cannot cap with time anymore. If you're Drama Alert, or not Drama Alert, if you're Last Hope, rather, you're barely going to be able to cap it all, especially with a Blizzard coming out onto the cart, locking up anybody who tries to keep overtime going. Shapeshifter will lose the Earth Shatter, but with a barrier from OG supporting the rest of Drama Alert Nation, this is still very much their fight to take. Earth Shatter attempting to turn that one around, but with just Train Cloud here, it's tricky business, especially with the spawn so much closer. Cucumber just needs to buy time. The pick on a Train Cloud is icing on the cake. And a sleep onto Zerocious just to nail the coffin finally down. Stragglers here for Last Hope, but they're not going to be able to get this done more than likely. It's been fun. And a stick okay, I changed my tune here. A stick actually is going to turn this around. Now the barrier's out for Micro. This is an absurd fight. I dare to call it a dumb fight. But somehow, some way, Last Hope have not given up hope. And they might actually get this Caplafon.
I'm just going to wait because...
Lafon left literally speechless. All right. Round's over. Oh, boy. What a game of Overwatch.
I was worried
and
that
we're not even done.
I was worried that if I said something that somehow Drama Alert Nation would come back. Yeah,
I get you. Murphy's Law in caster speech is what's going on.
Yeah. I mean...
Oh boy,
there's still three quarters minute.
It's a very tall mountain to climb here for Last Hope.
Yeah, not necessarily insurmountable.
No,
but definitely very difficult.
It's just like it's basically 90 degrees straight upward, and you need some pretty intense rock climbing gear and grip strength, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Last Hope, yes! Yes, they're bringing it out themselves. The rush composition. Train Cloud going over to the Roadhog now. Last Hope trying to give Drama Alert Nation a taste of their own medicine. Don't you dare come out on the Orisa Shapeshifter. Don't do it. Don't do it, Shapeshifter.
Okay, well, this is first fight. This could be... Oh, man.
This is going to be a mess.
There's nothing
That's my only prediction.
There's nothing to even call here analytically because it's a desperation play, right? You're playing for a...
They're going to run straight into the Bastion, Lafon. They're going to run straight into the Bastion, Wub. Oh, the wall. Actually, zoning him off. Wub is going to get caught out. Oh, I could see that going so horribly for Last Hope, but they make it work just barely.
Just barely. Can they do it 4 more times, though, right? Because that only took 30 seconds off the clock.
Oh, TP?
High ground? No.
I don't think anyone actually got through that. It was mostly a bait there. Shapeshifter going out pretty far forward there. Immortality field. He's standing still. Shapeshifter stood still there and still traded with Faded. That being said, it's still rough for Last Hope regardless. They're losing a lot of players right now. They are getting trades, so they'll have time to get back to the objective, but they don't have time to give over even a tiny bit of progress.
No, they don't. And I mean, this has been, you know, what's Drama Alert Nation going fast. So this is still, I mean, this is still very much in Drama Alert Nation's hands.
Cucumber on this flank too. He's got the high ground advantage. Wub's just chilling over on that car. Seeing if he can catch anyone out. Again, a wall from Zerocious. Delaying the pick there from Wub. He will eventually get Noxious. And with Fady going down too, this is the fight Drama Alert Nation needed. Here comes the tank mode. 50 caliber shells going forward. Not too difficult to clean that up. And Drama Alert Nation can easily go on to the objective. Okay, there we go. They have one player on the objective. But in true Drama Alert Nation fashion for this match, everybody else is going to go forward to spawn camp. No, don't delay it. Don't do it to him like that. Okay, good. It's done. Drama Alert Nation, they wrap it up. 3-0 for them, and a 2-0 start to this week of trial.
Yeah, and unsurprising, really. And I think the biggest takeaway from this particular match is that you owe us a certain chapstick being eaten, I think. Mr. Possible, Orisa was played.
I was hoping you had forgotten that.
No,
when
sir.
I saw Orisa come out from Shapeshifter, I was hoping you forgot that. I do have to do that, don't I?
Yeah. I'll let you off the hook. I'll let you off the hook.
I'll do it if you're a weirdo who wants to see that. I'll do a video on Twitter later. I won't subject everybody on the stream to that one, LaFawn.
Certainly not. But I mean, just a quick wrap up of the series. Drama Alert Nation, they are the real deal, right? This is a team that we said is going to be the top of their group, you know, dueling Doge with dealing with that particular, you know, for that top spot. So are we surprised that they were this dominant against Last Hope? No, not at all. The question is, how do they evolve that in the coming days as they play out the remainder of the trials? And for Last Hope, you know, it's not over for them. They're still trying to, you know, stick around and prove that they're a team that has the talent to play at this level. And I think they do. So these next couple games are just as important for them as well. But that being said, I mean, this particular matchup was very one-sided, a 3-0 all the way. And Drama Alert Nation showing that they are here for real.
Yeah, for Last Hope, even if you don't make Contenders actual on your first run here in Trials, you can still get third or fourth and stick around in Trials for the next monthly cycle. For 2-2 Drama Alert Nation, though, they're just riding high on these first 2 wins. We're actually going to go to a quick break here, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to have an interview with one of the esteemed winners from Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation. So we'll see you in a few, and we'll be back with a friend. Welcome back, everybody, to Group A of NA Trials. We just finished up the match between Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation and Last Hope. Tier 2 Drama Alert Nation took a dominant 3-0, to say the very least. And with us from the winning team, we have Wub, the man himself, the legendary Tier 2 Genji, joining us. How you feeling after such a convincing win, Wub?
Feeling pretty good. Ready to stomp the three other teams to be playing trials. Hopefully get more spawn door taggage going in. And yeah.
So I take it that asking you what you think about the upcoming matches is going to be somewhat of a pointless question.
I think the only hard match that we'll have to face is probably Doge, since they have a few good players and a few ex-teammates of mine. But I think we should still win 5-0 going into contenders.
Actually, I want to take a moment to talk about that matchup against Doge because, heading through this group, we've had you guys as probably being, if not the top, then probably you guys are going to probably make it out of this group, no questions asked. Is there something, heading into this, are you guys keeping your eyes on trials, or is it more of we're making it contenders? Let's start just making sure we get through these matches before we're eventually going to be there.
Mostly just focusing on contenders because I think we all 7 of our players, me included, agree that we're all the best in our roles and we work really well together and we're all friends. So it just works out really, really well. And I think we're just focusing on what we can do to better ourselves as a team and just trying to have fun like we saw today.
Yeah, we can definitely see you guys have a good bit of fun in all of your matches here, and that's can we? I mean, I'm pretty sure, but I'll ask just to be safe. Can we expect that in kind of like any match you guys have to just play a little bit more fun, play a little bit loose? Is that kind of your guys' philosophy when it comes to the game? You're not one of those hard we need to take everything seriously at all moments, even if it's a loose match. More
Yeah.
guys, you have fun with it, you flow.
Yeah, especially since we have I think a majority of our players are under 18, so
Sure.
everyone's just kind of a goofball. So we all love and love to play with each other and love to have fun. So I think majority of our matches should be fun to watch, at least from a viewer standpoint.
Today certainly was.
I had fun.
Yeah, for sure. I guess seeing as that being the case, is there anything you want to tell the other teams that is coming up here in the next couple of days on stream? What should they watch out for from you guys?
I don't really think we have a weakness. Truly, I think we're all if this was Overwatch League or someone higher, then I could see other weaknesses that we have. But there's nothing really that I see that could trouble us. Really, I think we have all the players that are best in their roles for Tier 2, and I think we all mesh really well together. So I guess I don't know.
So I guess in essence, make sure your spawn doors are ready because you're going to be seeing a lot of them.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, and let me double back real quick. So you guys believe you're each best in your role for Tier 2 in general, not just here in North America Trials.
Yeah.
Okay, look out, contenders teams. Tier 2 Drama Alert is coming to play for the crown. Well, before we get on out of here, Wub, anybody you want to shout out on your team, on social media, fans, whatever, before we toss out for the day?
Shout out to my main tank, Shapeshifter, the Chinese god, and shout out to Toxic, who's always watching my streams.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us here, Wub, today. We're going to be keeping an eye on you. You guys are actually on stream pretty much every day for the rest of this week. So anybody who enjoyed the ridiculous gameplay that they brought out and the dominant performance, make sure you come on back here. That'll be it, though, for NA Trials Group A for today. I'm not sure if the other stream is still going, but if it is or if it isn't, make sure you go on over. I am being told by my producer that the other stream is also over, and infamous 3-0. So more 3 Overwatch here for NA Trials, but there's still a lot of Overwatch to be played this week. Make sure you tune in for the rest of NA Trials. We'll see y'all tomorrow.